Hi again, everybody. It is Saturday morning, January 14th, 2023. Just recap a little bit from yesterday's activity and from the night before. The night before, we had the overnight low came in our bright green window. Remember, we identify the intraday highs and lows, excuse me, with the bright green and white boxes, and we use the smaller boxes on the A1, A2 panel or the A1 panel to fine tune. So as we were coming into the latter part of the evening on Thursday, we had a high come in right at the beginning of the green box. We traded down and made low on the white black of the A1 panel. So that's pretty typical. At that point, we had higher volatility than normal for that time of the day. And after we made that low, it just kind of flatlined overnight until we got into the European start of the market trading. And then as we moved into the white window, we made our overnight high. And on the green block on the A1, that triggered the big sell off, which went into the early part of the morning here Eastern time, where we finally bottomed out. We had a double bottom at 8:30 and then again at 9:12, and that's where we hit the green and white black on the A1 panel, and those were our reversal points for the morning. So I had given out a price projection yesterday for a high when I was reviewing the daily swing forecast. I gave out the number of 40.27, 40.28, and I had another projection at 40.30. Actual high came in right at near the end of the day session at 40.24 and a quarter. So I got within 3-4 points of projecting that high yesterday. So we'll see what happens with that as we get into Monday. I'm going to be looking for this to roll over. So we'll see how the overnight goes on Sunday, and that will dictate the plan of action. Now I'm bringing in the rainbow chart because I want to show how these tools interact together here. I pointed out the low area from the Vedic chart. And if you look at the rainbow chart, we do the same thing here with the bright green and the white boxes. And what we like to look for are these points of overlap where we have the larger boxes in our even rows, which are A2, A4, and A6, and the smaller blocks are in the odd rows in the panels of A1, A3, and A5. So what we like to do is get a green or white windows aligned on the larger blocks, where in this case I have my cursor there at 848, marking the center of that little double bottom, the little high in between the two lows. You can see we've got the A2 and A4 bright green overlap. We also have a green A3 and a white on A1. This indicates that that is an area of the low, even though technically it's not the low. But in looking at hundreds or thousands of these charts and on the S&P and many other markets, you will often get this type of configuration. And another way to look at that is if I had placed a hinge at the first low and a hinge at the second low, and think of it as a door knocker and the handle's up high, if you pulled the handle down, you would have a V pivot low. This type of thing, you're going to see this over and over again. This happens on the intraday charts on the S&P all the time. So you're going to, their little double bottom is just make a low, start to push up, retest, fail, move up. That is a common pattern. Going back to the Vedic chart again, you can see how the period of that low, the rainbow chart I had marked at 848 right here, which was the beginning of the green black. Then the second low of the double bottom actually came in on the white black of this A1 panel. Now these panels are completely different than the panels on the rainbow. These are all astrological triggering events, and you can see how even the white and green blacks on the A1 panel will cause turning points. The white black here from Thursday evening triggered the low, which I mentioned right at the beginning of the video. Then we had other turning points. The high came in on the green black. And then looking through the rest of the day, Friday, you'll see the corrective low came in at the end of the green black. We started back up again, hit the end of the near the end of the white black. We had the first swing high. That was only a minor correction. Then we went in trading up again. We had a minor reaction which ended at the beginning of the green black, and then we traded up to the white black where we made the high of the day, and then it started to drift going into the close off of there. So these are important timing mechanisms. These plot forward. You can see these ahead of time and know exactly where they are. This data is pulled off of an Excel CSV file. There's no phony baloney. There's no chart indicator reprint. What you see is what you get, and it stays because it is fixed. That's it for today. I'll be back again with the Astro Excel forecast for next week.